Hi, hello, welcome to Sudoku Pro channel. Please join me in solving today's Hindu puzzle. It is a two-star puzzle. Today's Hindu puzzle has a significant feature in it. If you see, every block has three numbers, and there are certain block which has numbers in triangle form. This triangle form of numbers is going to help us in solve the puzzle. Let's see that today. So let's get started. The first step is to scan through the numbers. Starting from 1 to 9 or 9 to 1 in any order, but it has to be systematic so that you don't miss out any numbers. The second step is to see a block, row or column which has one or two empty cells. So let's start with step number 1. In this puzzle today, I'm going to start with number 9 because I see a lot of 9 around. So this in the topmost section, we have these two 9s. So obviously there should be a 9 here. We have a 9 blocking here. So let's mark this cell takes 9 and let's note it down. Moving down, we have 9 blocking here and 9 blocking here, and there is one more 9 here. So this cell takes 9. And coming down, we have a 9 blocking here. There is a 9 here and a 9 this side. That means this cell takes 9. Now moving, this 9 blocks this cell and this 9 blocks here, and we have a 9 here. That means this cell takes 9. So now all the blocks have 9. Let's move on to 8. There are not much of 8. So this 8, there is only one 8 and it's not going to help. There are two 8s here. So this 8 blocks this cell and this 8 blocks this. So these two cells can possibly take 8. So let's keep a mark of 8 here. Small number 8. It's always very important to note down the possible numbers. That will help us a lot. And here if you see, this 8 is blocking these cells and this 8 blocking here. There are 3 empty cells, let's leave it. And here this 8 is blocking here and this 8 blocking here. We have 2 cells possibly taking 8. So let's mark it. When it is 2 cells, we can mark it. If it is going beyond 2 numbers, it is not advisable to mark it. Fine. Let's move on to 7 now. There's only one 7. It's not going to help much. And 6, there are two 6 here. 1 6 and 1 6 here and 1 6 there. So these blocks 2 cells here, 2 columns here. And these 2 cells can possibly take 6. A 6 here and a 6 here. Is there any other thing? 6 is not going to help in any other way. We don't have 6 anywhere else. Let's move on to 5. In the top section, we have only 1 5. Coming down, we have 2 5s here. So that means these cells will take 5 and we are 5 blocking here. So these 2 cells will take 5. Moving down, we have 5 blocking here and 5 blocking there. So these 2 cells take 5. That means we know that this 5 is going to block this cell. So this here 5 cancels out. So let's erase this, and 5 is going to be here. This cell takes a 5. Is there any impact of that? Okay. No. Okay, so let's move on to 4. We don't have 4 in any of these sections. We have 4 here, here, and here. That's not helping in any way. Let's move on to 3. Okay, 3. This 3 is blocking this cell, and we have 3 down here blocking. and we have one more 3 here blocking this cell. So this cell takes a 3. Coming down, okay, this 3 is blocking this cell. Yeah, and this 3. Okay, we have this 3 blocking here, this 3 blocking here, and this 3 blocking. So obviously this cell takes a 3. So this 3 is blocking here, and we have a 3 top row blocking. So these two cells take 3. So let us mark it with small 3. Fine. Now let's move on to 2. There is only 1, 2. It's not going to help much. So let's move on to 1. There are 2 ones here, 1 and a 1. So obviously a 1 has to be here. There is a 1 down here. So this blocks the cell. So this cell takes a 1. Now moving down, this one blocks this cell and this one blocks this cell. So there are 1 in these 2 cells. So let's make a small mark of 1. And moving on, you have 1 blocking here, 1 blocking here. So these 2 cells take 1. Moving down here, this 1 blocking here, and we have 1 blocking here, and there is one more 1 blocking here, right? So this is blocked, here it is blocked. So this cell takes a 1. So there is no 3, it takes 1. Now that obviously leaves this one cell having 3. So this becomes a 3 now. So now next this cell takes a 6. This is the power of marking with small numbers, so that we obviously find it when we find out one number. The other number, it's very easy to find out. 6, and this cell takes a 8. So in one go we were able to find all the numbers of this cell except these two cells. The missing out numbers in these 2 cells are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 and 7. That means 2 and 7 is going to be a complementing pair here. Fine. Now let's see the impact of the numbers filled up here. Let's take 8. 8 blocks this cell, and here 8 blocks here, and this 8 blocks. So this cell can take an 8. So let's fill with 8. The impact is now this 8 blocks here and this 8 blocks here. So automatically this cell takes 8. These 2 cells take 8. Let's mark it with small 8. So let's see the impact of the filled in numbers. This 6 is blocking this row. So that leaves these 2 cells possibly taking 6. So let's mark it with 6. Now this 6 is blocking this cells, so we get a 6 in the bottom row. So let's mark that. Fine. Now, in the beginning of the video, I told you that this triangle form of numbers is going to help us solve the puzzle. So here, if you see, there is a triangle of numbers 8, 3, and 9. So this means that these cells cannot take 8, 3, and 9. This 8, 3, and 9 should be either in these two cells, or these three cells, or these three cells. Now, these three cells are luckily filled up. So that means this 8, 3, 9 triangle will get a place only here. So already there are 3 and 9. So that means obviously this cell has to take a 8. So let us erase this and fill this with 8. So that means this 5 becomes a big 5. And this 8 gets cancelled out. And this becomes 8 now. So that means this becomes a 1 now. Okay, let's see the impact of this 8 here. This 8 blocks this cell, and here this 8 blocks this cell. So obviously this takes 8. And let's try to fill this block now. This here is a 6 blocking this cell. That means there's a possibility of 6 in these two cells. So let's mark it with small 6. Now this 6 is blocking this cell here. So that means here we cannot have a 6. So obviously this becomes a 6. Now that leaves this block with only 2 empty cells. So the numbers left are 1, 2 and 7. So this 2, 7 becomes a complementary pair. So let's fill this with 2 and 7. Fine. So that leaves this column with these 2 empty cells. So numbers left are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 6 are pending, are missing here. So let's mark it down. Fine. If you take this block, there's only one empty cell now. So the missing number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is 7. So let's fill this with 7. Fine. Now that leaves this column with only one missing number, which is 1, 2. That is 2. 2 is missing here. So let's fill that with 2. Fine. Here we have only 2 numbers missing, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 and 6 actually. Fine. So here this 6 is blocking this cell, so that it cannot take 6. So it becomes 4. This becomes 4, and this becomes a 6. Out of 8 here. So this 8 cancels out the 8 here. So obviously this becomes a 8. So that leaves this row with only two numbers left, two numbers missing. The missing numbers are 1, 2 and 4. So again it becomes a complementing pair here, 2, 4. Impact of other numbers filled here. We had filled 8 and 5 here, so this 5 is blocking this row, and we have a 5 blocking here. So this cell takes a 5. Now thus that leaves with this column with 3 empty cells. Let's try to find out what are the numbers missing here. So there is a 1, 2 is missing. So I'm writing it down here. 2 is missing. 4, 5, 6 missing. 4, 5, 7 is missing. Okay, 2, 6 and 7 are missing here. So let's try to find out where we can accommodate 2, 6 and 7. Okay, here we have 1. This 1 is impacting here. And here this one is blocking this cell and this one blocking here. So obviously this cell takes 1. Let's have 1 here. Now 4, let's see how 4 is impacting. This 4 is blocking here, and here we have a 4. So this cell takes 4. Now 3, this 3 is blocking here, and we have a 3 blocking here. So this cell takes 3. Now we have a 7 blocking here. So this becomes 7. And there is only one cell missing, and the number is 2. Now consider this row. There are 2 numbers missing. So this 1 is actually cancelling out here. So that means this 1 is not there, and this becomes a 1. So there are 2 cells missing here. The missing numbers are 2 and 4. Now obviously this 2 cancels out the 2 here. So this becomes a 4. So this becomes a 2. Because of this 2, this becomes a 4, and this becomes a 2. And here I missed to write a 2 7 pair because of this 2 7 pair. There is already a 2 7 pair here. So now because of the 2 here, this becomes a 7. So this 7 makes this a 2. So this 2 becomes 7, and this 7 here, this becomes a 2, and this becomes a 7. So we have cracked all the pairs. Now considering this block, there are only two numbers left, that is 6 and 7. So let us mark that. This block, we have 3 blocking here and we have a 3 blocking here. So this cell becomes a 3. And we have a 7 blocking here. So this cell takes 7. Now if you see this column, the only missing number is 6. So let's fill it with 6. So obviously this becomes a 4. And this becomes a 6. Now there are two missing cells here. The missing numbers are 1, 2, 2 and 5. We already have a 2 here. So this cell takes 5 and this cell takes 2. Only one number missing in this column, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is 5. So let's fill this with 5. And there are only two missing numbers in this row, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 7. So that we already have a 4 in this column. So this takes 7. And this becomes 4. So obviously this 7 blocks here and this becomes a 6. And this becomes a 7. Now coming to this, these are the only two numbers pending. So here this 6 blocks here. So the missing numbers here are 2 and 6. So this becomes, this cell takes a 2. And this cell takes a 6. Fine, we have solved this puzzle. So guys, I hope that you have learned a few techniques out of this video. Thanks for watching. Do Sudoku and boost your brain power. Thank you.